Alrighty. Alright, let's tie those to the UI, please. Let's work on that next. Alright, let's tie those to the UI next. Let's do it. Alright, let's tie those to the UI next. So let me just double check here. I think now we've effectively gotten rid of the entirety of SFTP. If that's the case, then we're in really good shape. Pretty much just doing like a short hour, just trying to get this done, get this on the UI. Basically, I'm gonna double check. I'm gonna have him double check. Where are you? Here. Action markers. So it's using the thread to basically send file requests. And then there should have been a new file management actions that we use. Cool. Source desk name. Good. Pending tasks. Batch. I think one of the last things I'm going to build is a interface for the console for the to access the APIs. I'm gonna actually have that do that on a separate. All right, so let's do something real quick. Right now in another session, there's another instance of Claude working on. Actually, let me see how many tokens I use. 10%. God damn. Connecting the UI to the APIs requests. So what I need now is a way to test this model. To test this interface. So basically, well, the backend of the backend. Let's just go. What used to be the backend of the SFTP stuff. So basically everything after the UI. I need to test that. And basically what I think we should do is create either like a collection of scripts or something to be able to basically test different scenarios and blends of and combinations of actions that a user can take. I currently have a list of scenarios. So the first one I think we should build is based off of this one here. I think we should move it into test, the new test folder. Let me just make sure this is done. How many tokens are we at? Oh, lordy. Awesome. I wonder if it actually ended up moving my entire thing and not just the SFTP stuff. I'm curious.
Easy
Where was I? Alright, here we go. The new test folder. Testing scripts. For this test, we're gonna need to create a, I mean, what can you salvage from the old testing folders to basically, I don't want to build the PTQT or whatever the fuck, test QT or whatever the fuck. I just want to test the functions, the back end. Because the buttons being tied to the front end, I mean to the back end, that's a simple check. But as long as the logic, like the back end logic is what I'm mostly worried about. Being able to handle the different combinations of moves, merges, all that sort of stuff, the different error instances, like that's the kind of thing that I'm really trying to focus on for these kinds of tests. There's definitely an earthquake right now. There's absolutely an earthquake right now. It is shaking apparently. I would like to do this for merge, replace, trash, restore, create, rename, and cross-drive stuff. I actually renamed the folder to this. Let's see, move. We got move, rename, trash. Those are the ones that I really want to do right now. Just these right now. Move, trash, and rename. All the edge cases should be inside of these test cases. So what do you think of these, and how achievable do you think it is within the current? Do you think I should clear the context window for this, or because once we have that, we'll be able to test. And basically backend testing should just be literally like automated scripts that just basically do these, but build the scenarios, not literally in the sense that they're utilizing the functions. So for merge, you should actually literally use the move function, not literally attempt to merge. For replace, it should be the result of the move function. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it's literally replacing the file, and then the file sets need to be able to do that kind of stuff. If I could just do one test that does all these in one shot, oh my god, that would be the most helpful thing ever. And then just basically spit out if there was ever any, and have it be error friendly where it can just continue, and if any of them failed without the expected scenarios, like outcomes, just basically spit out the report so I could just run the script myself and you don't have to run it. You know what I mean? And then any UI input would be automated as well within the scripts in if statements, essentially. So if it receives this, then output that into the variables that it's expecting in the thread. Does that make sense? Is that doable, or am I giving you too much? Let's see. We're just trying to get this. I just want this fucking part done so bad, dude. I want this part done so bad. As long as we have something out there, then I could get rid of these old tests. They've been a bane of my existence like for such a long time already. I've just not been a fan of these. They're so sloppy and just simulated human input, all this shit, dude. It's so much. It's so convoluted. It's just literally UI testing. It's on the UI end, and I just rather would go back end first. Yes, I knew it! I knew it! Oh my god, let's go! Yeah, don't worry about test runner. We're gonna rebuild that entire system. Ignore that part of the Claude.md part. Just we're literally building these tests on this end here. We are not gonna be. That's old. It's old. It's like 3 months old now, so it means it's like 3 years old at this point, essentially. In relation to like the models, I did this during fucking Claude 4.5, like Opus 4.5, so it's not even it's not even close to what we currently have. So as long as that could run, and that was all done for front end stuff, I don't want to test the front end with these tests, all back end, and basically make sure that you utilize the functions through the API. That's the one part that I am gonna say. It should be utilizing the API themselves, because we're trying to test that all of these scenarios, the logic for these are tested through the API. For the actual functions, if we can actually import the functions from the actual application into this, so it's modular in that way, so then that we're actually testing the actual functions in the application, that would be the most ideal approach. Is that doable? Yeah, because through the thread, if we could just fucking do this through the threading and stuff like that, that'd be fucking great. Multi-thread testing, dude, come on. Well, no, I can't do that like that. Perfect. Exactly. Of course it's gold. Who do you think this is? Whose work do you think this is? Was. Mine, and I'm proud as fuck of my work. Oh my goodness. Of course it's gold. You kidding, huh? I'm so proud of this fucking work. Oh my god. This is gonna be a hot minute. One last thing, any functions that aren't currently used, just oh, you are building, okay, you are building a new harness. All right, I'm gonna pause recording for now because this is gonna actually be building for a hot minute. We're at 18% only. That's great. I'm gonna close this off. At 10 p.m. Okay, I got an hour, dude. I'm gonna burn this hour. I'm gonna burn it all the way as much as I possibly can, dude. Oh my god. Here we go. Alright, we back. That wasn't actually too bad. So just double checking here. Every action, all merges, all everything is literally just using move coordinator for move, all move actions. All trash actions should use move coordinator as well. Pretty much, right? That's how the move is actually running through. The move is actually running through move coordinator. I mean, the trash is moving through move coordinator, is running through move coordinator. Then rename is just rename. That's pretty simple, straightforward. Then what was the other ones? One more. And that should be it. I'm just making sure it's using. I'm just making sure it's literally connecting to the dock using the API, and then literally accessing the API calls. Beautiful. So it's also doing the, so it's also minting its own API key, correct? Through SSH. Hot damn! That is crazy. All right, let's do it. Let's see what you got. But the virtual environment, it should be running through the virtual environment I already have built. It shouldn't have built its own virtual environment, correct? Oh my goodness! Oh, I'm so happy! Then basically one last thing. One last thing. Alright, let's see where the fucking... There's something happening with the trash. Oh, right, we're rebuilding the trash logic. Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. There we go. There we go. Holy shit, dude. Alright, so basically, in a nutshell, the trash failed, but that's honestly okay because we're reworking the trash systems anyway. And I'm reworking the watchdog system to eventually have folders. There is inside of the database basically, but there are tickets for that already regarding that. But everything else pretty much passed, which is great. All the important parts passed. The only thing that really failed was trash stuff. But why isn't Watchdog up and running? I guess it's like weird. Was Watchdog not triggering the entire time? Is it checking for Watchdog triggers? Because it should be also checking that. Shit. Okay, so we gotta figure out why Watchdog is not triggering. Make that note. Make that a ticket and make that the next item on the to-do list. I'm about to do a git push. Based off what we finished so far, what can we remove from the current priority project cluster? Next question is the choir. We're like an hour in, 20%. Not bad. Not bad. apply it. Is it safe to remove the files from this folder? I'm so fucking happy, dude. I'm so fucking happy. Oh my god. Oh my goodness, dude. I am so happy. I thought this was honestly gonna take me like a week. It was literally like fucking like all of 5 hours today. I just literally did a week's worth of work in 5 hours. And none of it's actually, this is all work, I mean, it's reworking code that already exists. I did technically take weeks of work and time fucking fixing these up and building these, but now it's finally like, no, but I mean, like, in the sense of, are any of the functions actually being used? Like, in the sense that I'm aware that there are probably imports that this would break, but are we actually utilizing the functions? Or is it load bearing in the sense of, like, none of the actions that are in here should actually be tied to the actual repository, like for example like the move function, move coordinator, all that sort of stuff, like those are all moved into the API actions folder. I think that's what it's called. Let me just double check. API requests. Nope, no they weren't. Or is it, like, I mean, basically my question is it safe to remove the SFTP functionality from my application? Accepting that there are other parts that it would break. so cool. All right, let's see. Then can we remove the files and imports anywhere that they're called? So basically the only thing that would have actually broken would have been the imports. Then where do those actions actually live now? Where does move coordinator? Oh yeah. Wait, where do the actual API calls actually live? Hold on a second. That's not it. Nope, that's not actually what this is. No, this is not. This is more like a handler file. This is not actually file requests. Wait a second, then where are the actual API calls being made? Let me double check. Ah, fucker. I know exactly where they're being made. Browser UI. There's load directory. I think it's in here. I think everything's in here. Load home view, ping on progress, ping on failed. No. On def, on SFTP status, we can remove that. Trash operations, where is that? That's where they are. Okay, so they are still there. All right, now I see where. Okay, so let's rename the SFTP and browser operations. Let's move that. Here, and then also we need a better name for this file because that's not actually what it does. That's originally basically what I wanted the SFTP and browser operations to be called, but now I guess we should call them file actions or directory actions, or maybe like directory actions. And then we could remove that folder entirely, the SFTP ops folder. But also I found inside of here browser UI. Then inside of browser underscore UI.py, I found this one last SFTP function. It's no longer being used, I don't think. Alright, now it's not using like fuck ton of code. Like it's so much better when I just use it like straight up. Alright, let's look at this real quick. File names for the two files, action requests, file actions, direction, file actions, wait, that's fine. Directory. Would that naming convention make sense? Because I feel like file requests.py currently is more like a input output handler for UI input and also UI output for emitting. Oh. But it does handle like input output into and out of the directory actions.py, correct? And then it basically, an action workers is what's actually transferring it between the UI to what will become directory actions handler and then into the directory actions, correct?
I was appreciating my guitars with all of
I try so hard on a bunch of my fucking videos and reels and everything, and none of them smack. And then I talk about freaking termite poop and spider poop in one of them in a video that I took me all of fucking 20 minutes to make, just me complaining about termite and spider poop, and it gets 300 likes and like 4,600 views. The hell? That's insane. Correct. I see. All right, we good then. Perfect. I guess the next SFTP thing that's currently there was in the what is it, BT 510. I think it has to do with the clock stuff. Is that the last? The time stuff. Is that the last? The time zone stuff. My bad. Is that the last section of that ticket? Hardening flags, the small list, non-admin path, live tested, refresh. The time zone stuff, I think there's a ticket that currently revolves around the time zone stuff. The cron stuff, all that, that's already its own separate ticket set. If you want to update anything that you feel like is missing from here in those tickets, that'd be awesome. And then the hardening flags. Can you go over a little bit in terms of like a little bit more about what you feel like is missing there? What? All right, let's see here. Yeah, we gotta address those. I know. Wait a minute. I know exactly why it's not. The watchdog isn't registering. And I need to update the trash still. Fuck. I just realized something else. Trash is not supposed to exist just anywhere. There's something that occurs a little further upstream from this, from even resolved root, which is the register drive stuff. That's a whole other side of the workflow. I completely forgot about that. Fuck. I guess that's the next step of things that we gotta work on. So if we could actually pull up the ticket project cluster for registering drives, that would be really great. Let's put that next in the to-do list, actually. And then the time stuff should have already updated. Let's just make sure that you updated the ticket 510 to reflect no time zone stuff, that you moved it over to the corresponding time zone tickets as well. And then 10:01 p.m. Wait a second. Doc 03 is not wait, when you say it's not configured, do you mean that it's not ext4? What do you mean when you say configured? Because everything that's plugged into media should technically be owned by the group. So why isn't that appearing under media? That's basically what defines what is owned by the group. Is that what you mean when you say it's an unconfigured drive? Is it just because it's not formatted correctly? Because I did have some problems with that drive and I was trying to fix it, but then I fucking didn't. It's like a whole other thing. It's a whole thing. Shit. I just realized that we needed to do that before we have the test built out for now, and we'll just build the test out in relation to the registering drives and all that sort of stuff next. We'll do that tomorrow, but yeah, answer those questions that I have. Yeah, there should be no hard delete outside of trash folder. So if it exists in the trash folder, then yes, you can hard delete, but only then. And there has to be the 2 error messages that pop up where you have to check. Yes, I definitely understand that this is going to be deleted permanently after this, and I want to delete it. That's the safety mechanism there. And I think there was one more too. I think for the second one you also had to check a box and then also hit the OK button. But that's UI stuff. We're mostly checking for backend stuff. We're only checking backend stuff with the testing. But yeah, so
delete only actually occurs when it exists inside of the trash folder. If it doesn't exist in the trash folder, it cannot delete.
Everyone's freaking out about the insane vendor situation, but nobody's talking about the good news that came from it. My jaw stayed in place when I heard they sent cease and desist letters to other guitar companies the second they legally could. If vendors taking legal action over guitar body shapes, then more companies are going to start making guitars like this because they can't sue over two body shapes. Everyone's freaking out about the insane vendor situation, but nobody's talking about the good news that I was appreciating.
Let's see. But hold on a second. Wait, let me read this. Ownership, not file system type. All right, so I understand what you mean by that. But the mount alone doesn't set the group ownership. The CH own to the storage group happens in registration. Yeah, the owner is set to root. Well, okay, so here's the thing. So what if a drive is formatted on another computer and isn't registered? What happens then? And then regarding the delete stuff, alright, so I need to actually restart before the next harness run for the testing, correct? And then anything else? One and two are correct. Why? Wait, so what exactly broke there? Wait, restarting it would... Wait, so how do we fix it so it doesn't mount to root by default? Because that's... I mean, it doesn't set ownership to root by default because that's crazy. Ah. Ah. So it was in the formatting. So the problem was literally in the formatting when it was formatted. God damn. Alright, we're gonna need a ticket to address this kind of issue because how can we set the permissions correctly in the case of that happening in the future with somebody else's drives? Because it needs to be able to be accessed. If it's plugged in, I want it to be seamless where you plug it in and it fucking works. And it's like, there would need to be a step inside of Udisky. Then also, yes. Anything else missing from 510 ticket? Also add 512 after we finish doc registration test step. In the to-do list.
All right, let's see here. Two things are missing. So as of right now, BT 510 is finished. I can't believe I forgot that one part, dude. I can't believe I forgot that. That's so nuts. Wait, don't I have the testing for trash and rename scenarios? Isn't that part of what we ran? Oh wait, so trash and rename hasn't been written in run all yet? Well, as part of the testing for run all?
There isn't a replace. Wait. Wait a second. There is not a replace though. There is no replace inside of trash. Trash is the safety. You can't replace something that is the safety. That's not how trash works. Trash is supposed to treat itself like a merge. If you're doing, like, it's supposed to treat it like a merge. There's actually like a specific logic path for that. For when, let's say, like you're talking about in the case where you move something into a trash and then you move another file that's named the same exact thing, same exact file type into that same trash, where you can hit the replace button, you should not be able to do that. It should default to essentially merge. There's literally inside of move coordinator, there's an entire logic thread specifically done for this. Like literally there's an entire logic thread that's specifically done for this. Oh wait, that's what you're saying, is that you ran the specific trash replaces cascading one. I see. So only the move ones were actually made here, not the other ones. No, wait, where the fuck is the move? Here it is. So it just made the hardest, so it didn't do scenarios for, okay. Now I see you. Shit. Alright, now I see what happened. Alright, so we didn't do the testing for rename or trash. Now I see what happened. Okay. Let's see. Let's move these three into the same folder called move testing. Then let's do the current run all. And call it run all move testing, because that's currently what it does. And let's follow that same folder shape for the rename tests and the trash tests, with their own individual folders. Does that make sense? I wanna take a day to just literally restructure my folder structure for my fucking app. It's not good. It could be a lot better. And I have this fucking thing to be able to do it. Alright, this is gonna be running for a hot minute. Like maybe 5 to 10 minutes, to be honest. With how fast it's been running, it's actually been fucking phenomenal.
My guitars when all of a sudden
A te fortuna non mancherà. Sono il fantato della città, sono il fantato della città, della città, della città.
Alrighty, we back. Run command is now. Go! Alright, that was a fuck ton of nothing in terms of the whatchamacallit, recording time. All I literally was recording myself say go. All right, let's do a quick test. Let's see what's up. Let's do a quick test. Clear, 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 clear. Why can't you run this shit? What the actual fuck? Why? Ah, shit. Wait a minute. Copy path, there it is. Python 3 here. Let's see if it does it. Let's see if it does it. Copy path. It technically shouldn't work with some of them. Some of the things should be broken technically. Alright, let's see here. Pew, 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 pew.
A simple mistake costs business owners thousands of dollars.
Yeah, this is the simplest one. Literally, this is like nothing. that was the new test run scenario for the trash stuff. So everything that's broken right now is basically due to the 511 not being done, right? Then the harness bug was fixed, so now I have 30 out of 33, so the last 3 are basically the gate. Now, that harness bug, that's not a false positive, correct? Everything is running off of the API, not generating its own functions, correct? Dude, this is fucking great. This new model is phenomenal. How many tokens did I use? 30, only 37%. And we're in 2 hours into this. This is wonderful. Dude, it was worth it. That one that I used like 80%, 70% tokens on was fucking worth it because the work was pristine. Pristine. Holy shit. Is there anything left on 5.10 then? Can we update 5.10 with the current status of the testing? I just saw this organ that's supposedly the biggest organ in the world, and I want to hear everything it could do. Alright, so multi-user testing we're not going to do yet because that's not even set up yet. That's not a thing. What do you mean by group decision? What's the thing about group decision? Root scoping, is that what we're referring to for root resolve? Is that the thing that we were talking about with the... What is that actually? Can you expand a little bit on that? What's the pending bucket race? And yeah, you can delete, literally straight up delete non-admin path live test yet, because that's not even a thing yet, and it's honestly going to be the same exact interface. I mean, it's just it's just a matter of who's using it. It's the same exact functions, it's the same exact UI, literally the same exact application when it comes to these kinds of tasks. Like within the, and like basically the UI and the groups will set the permissions for what they do have access to move around, and it's gonna basically also be the gate. So it's like, I think that I'm not too worried about non-admin live testing yet, like, to be honest. It's on account that like even non-admin users are like, the entire system set is not even done yet. I'm just curious to see what the rest of that stuff is, because it sounds kind of juicy and like I want to fucking get a little into that. I remember the first time I ever listened to the Zelda chords. Dun, dun, that 9, ooh baby, I think that's a 9 chord. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, no, that's a 7. 6? I have to listen to that again. Alright, hold on a second. There are 2 groups in play. System disagrees with itself on which one is on storage. But your actual drive folders, they spawn carry group hours. No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't be spawning a carry group hours. What do you mean by that? They might have a invisible file on there that has an identifier, like an identification kind of a situation, but it's not a group. Backend creates the storage group. It should resolve to the resolved the group, the carry group. There's no carry group hours. Like, I don't understand where that's coming from. What is the purpose of that? Can you check the wiki? Because I don't think that's in there. Where is that coming from? I can't remember the think that might have been something left over. Like specifically the group. Tonight the music seems so loud. I wish that we could use this crowd. Maybe it's better this way. We hurt each other with the things we want to say. We could have been so good together. We could have lived this dance forever. But nobody will dance with me. Please stay. Never want to dance again. Guilty feet have got no rhythm. Alright, let's see. Should've known better than to cheat a friend. Yeah. Yeah. That's what it was. It was so the groups, the ours group was for the watchdog. That makes sense. Yeah, it has nothing to do with the drives. It literally has nothing to do with the drives. Alright, solid. Holy shit. But that's a good reminder though, to be honest. Make sure we add that to the multi-user ticket when we build that out, because that's an important part, to be honest. That's an important group. That's a default group that needs to be set. Then take it out of 510, the stuff out of 510 regarding that. What else is left in 510? All right. The pending bucket race. I think we already addressed it, didn't we? I think I had a solution for that I worked out within this context window of conversation. In terms of root scoping, what is that? What are you talking about? What is the purpose of that? We're not going to close this until we address all these different little side notes that you have, because they're pretty solid, to be honest. We found something pretty useful here as a result of, even though we didn't directly pertain to 510, it's still important design concepts and aspects that we needed to address. What was the race? I think it has something to do with Well, technically any caller with a valid session key can name any path in an action, but the fence is the group. Resolved roots is resolved by the group that's further upstream. Does that make sense? That's the whole purpose of letting the system itself, the OS, take care of permissions. That way I don't have to think about things like this. Be honest with me if you think that actually addresses it or not. Wait. What are you talking about? Scoping is not redundant with your OS model. It's a contract statement. This API touches storage drives only, not permission logic. But the application itself, the API is fenced in that way though, because the only thing that it can actually touch, the API can actually touch, is resolved drives. Resolve drives is fed by the group that you're currently in, be it the admin or a non-admin. And then after that, you can't, I mean, technically, you can, like, if you were to SSH into the machine and then try to save something into the actual, like, desktop of your user, yeah, you can technically do that. But in terms of the UI itself is on Rails. The only actual edge case in relation to this where somebody would save something in a place where you're not supposed to save it would be if they SSH'd in it and then literally just copied it in. And then it would fall into the permissions again. If they have permission to actually copy things into that location and that storage, then yes. And if not, then you'd be fenced out. The only other place you can actually save things, if you don't have access to the storage root, like to the storage drives, the only other place you can store things is in your own user. That would be the only thing that you can actually that is pretty much the only thing that you can actually, only other location you can actually save stuff to. Am I making sense here? I mean, I don't understand what the actual... So you're talking about literally limiting the user access to where they could save things to only being the drives themselves and nowhere else. Is that, am I understanding that? Is that basically what you're recommending now? Because if that's the case, I don't want that. I don't want that. To be honest, I don't really want that. I mean, maybe for the non-admin users, because they're non-admin, but for the admin themselves, I mean, honestly, I would then suggest I want this to be something that the user can actually, like, if they do have the knowledge to SSH and do all the other stuff and add shit to this, then I mean, by all means. I mean, like, that's cool. I like that. If they want to save things in, but like the storage available on the actual device itself is going to be so minimal. It's going to be basically all of like 16 gigabytes. Because the only things that are actually going to live on here is literally all string data. That's like my one thing. Any other parts of 5.10 that are missing still? What is the, oh yeah, what is the pending bucket scenario? What is that? Ah. let's build that out into a ticket for testing, and then just put it and then park it. To be honest, put it into a project cluster, and just park it. And update 510 that it's a project ticket, that it's parked currently. Very minimal system to test right now, because it's, like I said, milliseconds. Like, it would need to be like a freak scenario with only, like, per dock, we're talking about 5 to 10 users. The odds are 5 to 10 users doing that simultaneously is like, that's so minimal. All right. Alright, get pushed then. Get pushed. Not end of day yet. Or is it end of day? It is end of day. It's 11 p.m. I just realized that. Holy shit. God damn it. I want to do more. Let me look at these real quick. Hold on a second. Side note, please park this cluster of tickets because this is part of basically the multi-user flow of stuff that we're going to be adding. That entire cluster can be parked for now. Yeah, all of that. I want to mess with this next. Drive registration is technically further upstream. Please use the conversation context window for all closed tickets, including anything from, and also projects. Please update the projects list, tickets list, and anything. Put anything that's closed into or won't fix into completed, and then delete any projects that can be deleted that don't have any more tickets in them. Then don't touch the to-do list right now in terms of, unless you're removing something. I think you just can remove 510, but don't add anything to it right now, because as it currently stands, I think it's updated. Yeah. And other than that, run through the full workflow, please. Thank you. End of day, 11 p.m. Please note that I took a 2-hour break because I ran out of tokens. That's the little note that you can add there. And remove the 2 hours from the actual full amount of time that was actually worked.
There is one person in history.
I'm gonna pause the recording because it's gonna take a hot minute. Last one! I kind of think I could finish one more thing probably before bed, maybe. Oh no, that's a whole other workflow. No, that's a whole other workflow. Alright, we're gonna call it. Alrighty. 11 p.m. Alright, so I'm actually gonna call it a night. It's 11:16, 28 p.m., 11:28 p.m. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for today. For all the work I did today. I really gotta start waking up earlier. Oi! They're removing Fable 5. What? Hold on a second. They're removing Fable 5 from the usage for your, like, your, it's not gonna fall into your max plan? Really? Oi! That's a fucking bummer and a half. Goddamn, how much are the tokens gonna cost? What? Oi! No way, dude. Dude, did you see this? They are going, it's only included up until June 22nd. So it's only from today through June 22nd that they're actually allowing people to use Fable 5 as part of like their max plans. And after that, it's literally gonna be $10 per million input tokens and $50 per million output tokens. That's absurd. That is absurdly expensive. I'd rather use, dude, DeepSeek is 88 cents per million tokens, dude. Oh my god, dude, no way. That's insanity. That's a shame. That is an absolute shame, dude. Well, it is what it is. Alright, I'm gonna go to bed. It was a fun day today working with Fable 5, but it's gonna be a very limited time thing for me to be able to work with that. I'm assuming they're probably gonna do the same with Mythos. It's probably gonna be the same thing because it's expensive and you can't really bust it in. So that's probably why they're... That's such a shame, but it is what it is. Alright, I'm going to go to bed. Thank you for joining me. If you joined me, if you didn't join me, it's okay. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a lovely night full of joy, peace, love, and all of the bliss. Thank you. $50 per million tokens.